Alright, I'm gonna make a quick video for Chris, my Nova buddy. 1969 Nova, Shop Times videos, check him out. Chris, this video is for you, buddy. This is how this fuel cell is installed. It's got some round tubing here, and goes through and it's threaded, and locks the cell down in on the bottom. Now I did notice on this cell that it's not properly installed, which really is a shocker considering whose car this is. But anyway, so we got some real nice straps made out of round tubing, and those are really cool, and it looks like they tapped them, threaded them, and bolted it in from the bottom. We'll go under there and take a look, and the light really is not good. Let me open this door here for you. Well, that's a little better. So there you go. There's the fuel cell. Here's a nice, I don't know what that is, maybe 1/2 inch round tubing, you know, if I had to guess. And there's a vent back there. So we'll go under the car and check this out. And you can see where they welded a bolt or threaded that tubing and put a lock nut and a washer underneath for mounting it. Oh, they did put a little, where they cut the hole here in the floor, they put a little trim here so it wouldn't compromise the fuel cell. But here's the fuel line layout. Goes over to a filter there. That's a Professional Products, and then it goes to a Holley blue pump. And we got a little filter there, K&N filter. This is our vent. You know, it's just mounted to the bottom of the car, and it's got the tube that runs up with you know, U-bend in it. To give it a little area. This is not proper right here. You don't ever want to do that. Oh, these freaking fleas, guys, are killing me. This is what you need to make for the bottom of your fuel cell if you're going to put one in your car. This is a piece of aluminum here that I welded up. You can use steel, you know, if you don't have an aluminum welder. Basically what this is the bottom for your fuel cell. I had this on my Bug first, but it protects the sump area. So, you know, the only thing that's exposed is going to be the back of the cell where the lines come out of it. And this will be protecting against, you know, anything that might go under the car in case you run over your kid's bicycle or anything like that, you know. Any kind of accidents like that happen. This keeps stuff from puncturing the sump area on your tank. So I don't know why this car doesn't have one on it. It should. That one's off my car. And basically, you know, it just covers the sump area under there, and it'll just leave the back part exposed, and all the plastic will be protected. So hopefully that answers the sump question. There's a little better look at the battery boxes with a little bit of light. You know, these are Jazz boxes, and yeah, they got nice mounting hardware and stuff, and basically it's got these little bolts here that go in the box and bolt these down when you're not charging the batteries and that. So hopefully that helps you out. A lot of guys will use a flat strap here. I like the round, that looks pretty nice. And he basically tapped the end of it there. I can see what he did. Tap the tubing, or welded a nut right here. I believe there's a nut welded right at the end of the tubing, and then he used the nut and bolt and washer, or looks like he threaded a stud up into the nut after he welded the nut on, and it's got a nut and a washer under the car, which is pretty clean. I like the strap idea. It just needs to get the bottom piece incorporated for the safety aspect, and that's in the rule book. You have to have the bottom on it. So if you race a car at the track or whatever, you'll have to have that. So that's about it. So make that quick video for him, and gonna go to the beach this morning or something different, get out of here for a little while. And yeah, we tore that motor apart last night. We did that together, so you guys saw that. And there's the cats. Smokey, and the black one got named Autumn, so it's a female black one there. So there we go. Oh, it's a beautiful day in Florida again. So 5 days of rain. Maybe we'll have no rain for a while. I hate rain, so hopefully it doesn't rain for quite a while. So here's the deal with this thing. I need these corners, and they're all rotten. You can see this is all garbage. This piece is part of what we need. So yeah, I'm not real happy with that. I mean, I'm gonna clean it up the best I can, and then I'm gonna have to probably make those pieces, because this stuff's pretty rare. Can't find it. I can get the package tray, I can't get the under the window piece, and that's what I really need. I don't really like this package tray either. It's got way too much rust on it, you know, but this is what the owner elected to do, go used. And I don't ever like going used. If I'm gonna weld a panel on, I just hate it. I used to hate it when I worked at the body shop and they'd buy an LKQ, as they call it. And LKQ stands for some ridiculous thing. It's like a serious tongue twister, like kind quality parts or some crap like that. And I used to call it like crap, not quality parts, because really sucks, man, when you buy a new car, you know, and you're paying every month on it, and you buy the insurance, and you take your car to a body shop, and then they order the shit from a junkyard. Some guy goes and chops the piece off, and they give you an hour to clean the piece and put it on the car. And I don't know, I just never felt good about that when I worked at the body shop. You know, I just didn't understand why they just didn't buy the new pieces from the OEM. It's just it's always a much nicer job when you can take new parts and put them together. You know, aftermarket's a different story. You know, if you got a pick between aftermarket and an OEM used part, then an OEM used part's always much better. But I just I never understood the concept of trying to take a used part and make a new part out of it. So just a personal bitch. But yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it today. I'm gonna, you know, go to the beach, because none of this stuff pays any money. So you know what I mean? It's not like there's a paycheck waiting for me today or anything. So we'll just take the day off. I gotta get with Randy on this thing, figure out what we're gonna do for some materials. Gonna have to buy some stuff. I think I got some Bondo and stuff. I can get some body work, probably get it in primer. But as far as the paint and stuff, you guys know how that goes. This color blue is probably good $400 or $500 a gallon. So yeah, there we go, a little dent repair for you guys. Wow, that came out really nice. I don't think I'll be stud gunning that anymore. You saw it live on YouTube. So yeah, real steel. It's amazing. We can get in there with a dolly and a hammer and knock that out and work that a little bit, and it'll be a very thin skim on that. But yeah, a lot of you guys are shocked by the amount of Bondo on this car, and this is pretty thick. You know, it's thicker than the norm. But I gotta tell you, when I was out in California, I went to a couple shops there, and that's their way of doing things. You know, believe it or not, they'll take and skim coat the whole car and block it. And a lot of those guys out there will spread the whole car and block the plastic flat. And it's not uncommon to see Bondo on a complete car, you know, especially a show car that's real straight, because that's usually how they get the panels that way. But yeah, so there we go. And I think that was all the questions I had on this one. I'm not sure. I did see an E-coat video the other day, and I know Jeb Chance had a question, and I can't remember exactly what it was, buddy. I'll try to answer your question for sure. And I wanted to answer Chris's question on the fuel cell, because I know he's working on getting his put in, and I just wanted to show him that bottom piece, because it's pretty important to have that. But yeah, on the factory E-coat, I like to always take it off, because even if it doesn't wipe off with a rag, chances are it's not really an E-coat, guys. E-coat is electrically plated onto the steel, and that is the silver or metal-like coating that you see on a factory part when you grind the primer off. The black stuff is just basically a protective coating, especially on an aftermarket part. It'll almost never be good quality, and it's not something you want to leave under there and build your whole foundation on. Now, like on a GM or a Kappa aftermarket part, the Kappa part has actual salt testing rating on it, and that's the protective coating's been salt tested for 200 hours, and it's passed the test. So those coatings are decent. I know one really good shop that I worked at, all the parts would come into the shop. We had a guy, and all he did was he would mix the paint for the car and basically cut the part in. And so if you got a job vended to you, you go see him, and he'd give you your paint and your parts are already jammed. So, but what they did as a rule, they would take the part and they would 180 the black coating down, and they would DP40 back in the old days was the poison of choice, is what we use, epoxy primer. But they would buzz those parts down, every one that came through the door, DP coat it and jam the edges, and you'd go pick your part up. They'd be green with the corners cut in. The part would be edged and cut in, but every part got that coating on it. And it was a warranty deal for the shop I worked at. They gave lifetime warranty on all their work, so it was the owner was under the assumption that that would be a better method for him to do, and ensure that his work was good quality. So that's sort of where I started the DP40 years ago, back in the early 80s, when they were using it, late 80s, whenever it was. But yeah, so be careful with the E-coats. I always recommend taking those off unless it's a factory part or a Kappa part. And the Kappa is the only aftermarket certification that'll ensure you that coating is a quality coating. So most those coatings that you find on the fenders aren't a quality rust protector, though. So keep that in mind. And oh man, I can't remember the question that he wanted to ask me, and he didn't want to ask me, he asked me. So I'll do another video on that, maybe write those down and come out here and walk around and answer some questions or whatever. And yeah, and this car doesn't have an alternator on it, so that explains why the battery is always dead all the time. So it does have a belt drive there, so you see that belt drive, Jesel belt drive. It's all shaft rocker setup on this. This is a pretty little stout motor. This originally was a Shaffer small block. It's I think it's called a Saturday Night Special, and I bought one of these small blocks and a big block at the same time for some nitrous shootout cars. And this motor runs really good with some spray on it, but he hadn't put it on there yet. I think there might be some pieces in the car to install it. I don't know if we're gonna do that while it's here, but yeah, there's the fuel harness for the nitrous setup, and I'm sure there's some other stuff hidden in here. There's a nice shifter though, nice solenoids there, air operated. But all right guys, let me shut this off so the upload's slow and or fast, and we'll talk to you guys later.